Hi, in this video, we'll go through the creation of purchase order using FreeSpace. So here we are in the home dashboard and let's choose the option called purchase from the sidebar menu. Now we can choose the option called purchase orders. Here we have the complete list of purchase orders that are created. We have the order number, supplier, GSTN, contact person. In case if the order was created against the quotation, we'll have the quotation ID in order to track it. Then we have the date, amount and status of the order. So let's see how to create a new one. For that we can either click on the plus sign next to orders or we can click on this new button. Here we can enter the details. First and foremost, it's a date and time. So by default, the current date and time will be shown. If you want to edit it, we can click on the calendar button and choose the required date. Then we can choose the employee who is in charge of this. Then we can choose the supplier. Here next to supplier, we have a plus button in order to create a new supplier. We also have an I button that will provide the supplier summary, which includes the number of open invoices, closed invoices, and the balance. In case if you have set a contact person for this particular supplier, that will be auto-filled here. As of now, there's no contact person for the supplier. So in case if you want to add a new one, we can click on this plus sign and add it. Then we have the supplier billing address. In case if you want to change the supplier billing address, we can click on the search button. And we can choose the required address if multiple addresses were given. Also, to create a new address, we can click on this option called new address. Then we have the shipping center, that is to which center we are shipping these items. If you want to change it, we can change that also. Next, we can choose the items required. Here next to the item, we have a plus button. In order to create a new item, we also have an I button which will take us to the item inquiry that give details like the item stock, details of recent purchases, recent sales, and the stock in various centers. Now let's give in the quantity. Here the price field, it is auto-filled because the price was set for this particular item. In case we want to edit it, we can change that here. Then we have taxes. If you want to add extra tax, we can click here and add the required taxes. Then we have the price, which is tax inclusive, and we have the total. First, we have the total amount. If we want to provide any discount, we can provide that here because the discount method chosen is invoice level discount. So here we'll be having the total amount. Then after discount, we have the taxable amount, the tax amount, subtotal. In case of any extra charges, that can be given in miscellaneous charges. If you want to round the figure, we can give that here. Finally, we have the net total. Any notes to be specified, that can be given in notes and it will be also shown in print. Any notes for the internal reference, that can be given in internal notes and it won't be shown in the print. Now we have two options. Either we can save this or save and approve. So when we save this particular order, it is going to be in draft. It is not yet submitted to the system. So while in draft, we'll have the permission to edit it by clicking on this edit button. We can also delete it if it is not required. Now let's approve this particular order. So the status has changed to approved. The order number has been also generated. So once approved, we won't be able to make any kind of changes. The only thing that can be changed using the option called master update is date and time and employee who's in charge. For any other kind of changes, we'll have to cancel this particular purchase order. You can clone, create the same one, make the changes, and then approve it. Here next to the supplier name, we have got an expand button, and when we expand it, we'll be able to view the supplier details. Also, the item name is clickable, and when we click on it, we'll be able to view the item inquiry. Here we have the supplier information. Then under deliveries, we'll have the item name, ordered, received, and the balance to be received. As of now, we haven't received anything, so the balance is 10. Under history, we can track who has created it, who has approved it, any kind of attachments to be given that can be given under attachments. So now whenever we are receiving the item, we can create the receipt note over this particular order. For that, we can click on the three dots and then choose the option called create receipt note. So all the details will be populated in the receipt note section. In this, if you want to edit the date and time, we can do that. And in case if you want to edit the center, even that is possible. We can add notes if it is required. Also, we have the provision to enter the shipment details, which includes the carrier name or agent, bill of lading number, and the motor vehicle number. Under received items, we'll have all the items populated here. In case of multiple items and we're not receiving the whole thing, we can remove the items which are not required. Also, we can edit the quantity. So now let's save and approve this receipt note. So the receipt note, it is approved. And now the status of our order is changed to partially received. That is, we have received the partial items, and even under deliveries, the informations will be updated based on it. Now let's click on this item in order to view the stock. So the stock is 767 now. Now let's create another receipt note. The balance quantity will be auto-filled here. Now we can save and approve this also. The receipt note, it is approved, and we have the status of the purchase order changed to received. Deliveries, we can see that the balance has become 0. Now when we click on this particular item, we can see that the stock has increased. So this is how we create a purchase order, and only when we create the receipt note, the items are added to stock. Now whenever we are converting this to an invoice, we can come here, click on the three dots, and then choose this option called create invoice. So once the invoice is raised, this particular purchase order will be in the closed state. The purchase order list, it can be filtered status wise. We also have an advanced filter where we can filter it based on the ID, bill number, supplier name, purchase type, and so on. Also, we have an export button in order to export this list to Excel file.